It's like they ride on the mommy spider, and so I squashed it, and all the babies came off, and I like shrieked like a little girl and got up to run away.
So one spider carried 1,000 other spiders.
Yes.
How is it
It's
possible?
it's like a broodlord.
Yeah, but they fly at least next to them. That's crazy.
I know.
But broodlord kind
It's
of
like
them on the spot.
it's like what is that thing called? The new thing, the swarm host.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Ah, I know where you're getting it.
Really, it was terrifying. I squashed it, and all the spiders came off. And
Anyway, I have no idea how we started talking about spiders.
Yeah, where did this come from?
I love how we
Oh, the slow speed thing.
Oh
so
yeah,
like,
Flash micros.
Yeah, Flash would micro
Anyways,
his marines like
Ben,
those baby spiders.
I don't want to hear about it anymore. I want to talk about PvP, Ben. Hwangsin is, of course, our red Proto spawning on the right top side of the map, leading 1-0 currently over Fnatic Nightend, who's been training a lot in Korea, is very high on the Grandmaster ladder. I don't know how high he is right now. I think he dropped a little bit, but I've seen him as high as rank 13, which is just crazy. That's very, very impressive. One more thing I want to talk about. I mean, I'm not going to say that Hwangsin just did something that's completely new, because I'm sure that somewhere, some Protoss did this. But the 4-gate War Prism kind of fell out of fashion just because Protoss players got so much better at defending it. But I've literally never seen someone proxying the robot like that and then following it up. Maybe that one guy that tried to do it against me was actually planning to do that. But yeah, it never really happened. Maybe that was
Hwangsin practicing on a Smurf.
Yeah, that's very possible.
And you owned him. No, wait, you didn't.
Yeah, I know. No, exactly, I still lost. That's how good Hwangsin is, man. But yeah, that's crazy. I've never really seen it like that. I think it's so smart. And certainly on a map like Antigua, because if you guys at home wonder right now, like, why doesn't just Nightend send out his stalker, run around the map and scout for things like that? That is because of his opening, he went for a very economic opening, so he had very few amount of units. If you walk out with one stalker, or two stalkers, one zealot, and you face 3 stalkers because of the other build orders that are popular, whether it's 11 gate or just a double gate opening, he will end up losing 2 stalkers, and we will all say that he shouldn't have been in that position, scouting for whatever he wants to scout. He should just sit on his ramp. So I think what Hwangsin did was very smart. I don't know if you can follow me, but this is just me and my PvP world.
I'm still stuck on the spider, man. Like, I hate spiders.
You're so useless. Man.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I started thinking about it, and now it's got, I kind of got the heebie-jeebies.
So Hwangsin this time is really going for double simulator. I did not really talk about it last game, but Hwangsin did take both simulators, but then he was actually not mining from the right one. What are you giggling about?
Man, spiders are scary. Alright, I'm focused now. Let's do this.
But yeah, that's of course one of those mind games that's very popular in PvP. You take the assimilator and your opponent thinks that you're playing a straight up game, that you're playing a macro game, that you want to do something which includes some sort of tag, and then meanwhile you just never use it. And I mean, that's a trick that will never get old, because you're investing 75 minerals, but if you really want to hide something, that's the only way to do it. If you want to really sell something, Ben, you have to sell it all the way.
Not bad.
You cannot undersell it.
I agree.
You have to stand behind it. You have to believe in it. It has to look so real that for a moment when you're not focused on your own game, even you think you're playing a macro game. But then you're like, no, wait, that's me.
Forgot I was 4-gating.
Forgot I was 4-gating. Why did I make an immortal?
Looks like Hwangsin wants to fake the 4-gate this time, Kev, as he's got the probe there with his army. He's going to come forward, maybe plant a couple of pylons, try and coax an overreaction out of Nightend.
I don't think he's going to achieve much. Oh, Nightend is not microing right now. Nightend, what are you doing? He took so much damage on his Zealot. This is actually going to allow Hwangsin to get high ground vision. And now Hwangsin is kind of hating his life for not really going for the 4-gate, but this is already very good, Ben.
Yeah, this is actually great for Hwangsin. He's going to kill, well, he killed a Zealot. Now he's going to get at least a probe or 2. Oh, might even get a sentry.
Force field Nightend. You might as well force field the ramp right now. No, he doesn't really need to. He's going to kill both stalkers for that sentry, which I guess is not too bad.
Yeah, he killed a Zealot, a probe,
and a
sentry, and he lost a Zealot and 2 stalkers and a probe. So that was actually a pretty even trade. If we look at resources lost, it was even better for Nightend because, of course, he had more minerals invested.
But there's always one thing, man. In PvP, what's very important, the moment that you fight in someone's base, you see exactly what he's doing. So Hwangsin knows what's up, and also Hwangsin knows that these units are way out of position right now. So Hwangsin is like, okay, I can expand, because it's very unlikely that Nightend, after that start, wants to put pressure on me. And we see Hwangsin exactly doing that.
Yeah, both guys are going to be expanding. Hwangsin's a little bit earlier, like you said, because he knew that he was safe to do so, and he was able to get away with it. We can take another look at that fight if we want to see exactly how it played out. And here it is. We see the probe absorbs a little bit of damage, and the Zealot basically completely untouched. This is what allows Hwangsin to break up that ramp. And then it's just kind of a bit of a micro fight. I'm a bit surprised they didn't commit to killing these stalkers. Do you think that would have been better?
I think so. At least leave one stalker and let split them up. You know, one stalker on the right side, one stalker on the left side. Then if Nightend wants to surround your stalkers, he has to pull not 8 pros, but he has to pull 18 pros because he has to do everything to keep his stalkers alive.
Yeah. So either way, it's pretty even here. As we can see, both players do have those expansions down. Hwangsin's just finishing. Nightend's will be done momentarily.
But yeah, I still think that Nightend just completely misplayed that, because there's no way that he should ever take that much damage with 2 stalkers and a zealot on the high ground against 2 stalkers and a zealot on the low ground. Like, that's just a clear case of
that probe, man. All-star probe.
Yeah, that probe absorbed a lot of damage.
Took all the damage.
Take all the damage and die.
The observer of Nightend's getting a great look in Hwangsin's base, though. He knows that he's going to have a much slower blink than his opponent, and well, that's, I guess, you know, this could be one of those little pushes with no thermal lance, 1 Colossus.
I don't see it happening.
No.
I don't think that would be very good. Then again, he does have a lot of sentries, so he could really
also
force
he's
those
expanded.
immortals a lot.
Yeah, okay, he's not going to do that with an expansion. Yeah,
and he's 5 probes ahead, so he doesn't really have to do that.
Silly observation, Bitter.
Or you mean Nightend to make that Colossus?
Yeah.
No, Nightend wouldn't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Nightend, you know how Nightend believes really a lot in himself, which is good. Everybody needs confidence. If you're a tournament player, you need confidence.
Who's the best player in the world, Nightend? Yeah. Me, of course.
He would say that he's arguably top 3 in the world. Nah, I don't know if he would say that, but Nightend is very confident, and there's no reason he would, from this position right now on, all in Hwangsin rather than play him in a 3 base versus 3 blaze scenario, because Nightend really feels that the longer the game goes, the more likely it is that he's going to win.
Hwangsin is moving around with some Blink Stalkers. Nightend does have units in position, though, so if Hwangsin's a little bit...
That could be pretty ugly, Ben. Unfortunately, the sentries are really far out of position. Hwangsin is smart. He's going to scout. I don't think you want to jump on top of Immortals. No.
Certainly not Immortals with Zealots.
Yeah, if it's Immortals and Stalkers, then it's a different story, but you need a bigger Stalker count. Because this, like, you would think, I can snipe an Immortal, but that one Immortal, it feels like you take it takes a century to actually kill it. Hwangsin's going to try to make something happen over here, but... it's not going to do that either. Very smart Nightend wipes in Zealots, because this is vulnerable. If Nightend would have played against pure Blink Stalker all in, this is so vulnerable against only Blink Stalkers. But as soon as you add a few Zealots in the mix, it's a whole different story. Man,
Nightend's Observer has just been parked over everything in Hwangsin's base. I'm a little bit surprised that Hwangsin's made no effort to find and pick off this Observer, but such is...
Nightend is a little sloppy on the planets, by the way, man. I want to point that out.
Yeah, it's not the first one he's missed either, and he's now blocked again without having started a new pylon.
Hwangsin is still in a probe lead, and what's surprisingly to me is that Hwangsin is the player getting double robo before Nightend gets double robo, while Hwangsin was the one also adding a Twilight Consul and getting Blink Stalkers, which is basically that he's ahead with everything. He has Blink and he's going double robo. How is this possible?
Well, it's impossible because he's got the slightly smaller army, and this is, of course, made possible by that blink. If Nightend were to move out, Hwangsin could just blink up there and, you know, do some damage, pull the army back, or force a sort of pseudo base race.
Then again, this is a group of Stalkers that is really not able to achieve all that much. If you leave one Immortal behind and you wipe in 4 Zealots, you're gonna have to micro your ass off with this little hit squad to actually kill that, and that's often just not worth it. So if you really want to like be scary, you need the biggest amount of Blink Stalkers. But I do agree with you. That's of course what allowed him to do so. Nightend is a little bit paranoid, but yeah, I think Nightend is making a mistake not going double robo, because Hwangsin is soon going to be able to outmass him with Colossus, since he also had an economic advantage for quite a while.
Nightend adding all that tech, getting those upgrades. Charge already coming for Nightend. That's something like that Hwangsin has skipped.
I like that a lot. I think that's charge is so important against Colossus.
I'm a little bit surprised that Hwangsin hasn't gotten it yet, given that he's already pumping off double robo. I mean, basically the only place he can put those minerals is into Zealots.
Yeah, but I think the 200 gas is what he's lacking. But now he's starting to add a few Immortals, which I like as well. I think it's very smart to always add Immortals no matter what phase of the game in PvP.
And then he starts the charge.
Yeah. So we were both spot on, man.
Good things, man. Hwangsin also has that probe on the bottom half of the map. Looks like he wants to go ahead and take that 3rd Nexus, and he does. 128 supply to 130. Very, very close. Basically in all categories. 79 army supply to 73, yeah, 51 workers to 55.
I still like that position of Hwangsin better, Ben, because he's producing out of double robo. And by this, I don't understand what Nightend is doing right now, because he's getting a ton of gates, but he's still producing of 1 robo, so Maybe he's going to add it. Yeah, he's actually adding a top archive. Sorry guys, did not see that. So I think he's going to try to add some Archons and then try to go for a very well upgraded gateway push. Because I can't imagine him actually going for 3 bases while he's double forging and 1 Robo and getting Archons. No, it's too much, isn't it?
You would think so. But I mean, Nightend often gets everything on 2 base, doesn't he? And then like I could almost see this turtling to a 3rd.
I don't know, I think this is a very weird scenario right now because there's not a lot happening, which some people might say that's standard for PvP, but no, PvP hasn't been played like this for a very long time. Take a look at the Colossus count right now. Hwangsin has 6 Colossus, man. Nightend has 4. Nightend does have a very, very...
Observer!
Observer. You have to park those units properly. Oh, not just that, man. A Stalker as well. Let's have a Stalker and an Observer. It's not bad. Right on the same moment Nightend moves out, Nightend has a far superior army supply right now. And Ben, that Zealot count is really important. 29 charge slots against 10. That's so
Hwangsin's going to have
massive.
to take a really, really good fight. It's going to be hard to find one. This is a very scary push.
I would say stay up that ramp, Hwangsin, really, because you're fighting against so many charge slots. I mean, sure, you can put your Colossus in a beautiful position over here, but against all those Zealots, man?
What if you waited till the Zealots charged and then moved on to the high ground? Would that be smart? It sounds kind of smart.
Yeah, but then he's going to lose. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of micro tricks possible. I don't know.
So
Nightend is dropping a 3rd next.
Look at this poor Zealot sent out to scout. Where's the army? Found it!
Run! What's wrong side? Lex! No!
He has a Robo House!
Stop it, Lex!
And still these guys are just kind of playing patty cake, man. It's 180 supply to 180 supply. First Archons are in the mix for Nightend. I'm starting to feel like his army is a little bit better than Hwangsin's.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think Hwangsin is playing a sort of outdated... well, he has 21 Zealots now as well, so I kind of like that. But I felt that he was playing an outdated version of late game PvP. Well, this is modern late game PvP, where you get the Archons and you also make sure you don't forget the Immortals. Well, no, actually Hwangsin only has 1 Immortal, yeah. If they were fight right now, Nightend would crush this army so incredibly hard, man. It's insane.
But Nightend's not the kind of guy that goes picking fights, Kev. He's just going to drop a pylon. Looks like he wants to warp in on the high ground up here to harass this expansion of Hwangsin's.
And then he's maxed out. Then he should just go. Like right now, if he can get those Immortals in range of those Colossus. I mean, it's 10 Colossus against 5. That is true. But really, guys, this is modern PvP. Colossus count is not all that matters anymore. With a good engagement, Nightend should be able to win.
Can't believe I heard you say that. You were all about the Colossi.
I know, but I've learned the hard way, Ben. I was a believer. Not a believer.
Zealot warp in the 3rd expansion of Hwangsin. He will warp in some Zealots of his own to try and defend it. Oh, and at the same time, a little bit of a fight trying to materialize in the middle of the map, but...
this is beautiful positioning. Like this, maybe Colossus are still boss, but I feel that you can work ways around that. As long as you can get Immortals in range of those Colossus, I think you should be fine. I still like well, I mean 10 versus 5 is a really big difference. If it was 10 versus 7, and then let's say he would have had those 12 Zealots left, I would have much rather had the army of Nightend. But 10 versus 5 is a really big difference. But still, if you can get the Immortals in range, Ben, I believe.
Nightend's going to have a harassing Archon. How often do you see that? And here we go, big fight here in the middle of the map. And look at the concave for Hwangsin. Nightend immediately realizing that he does not want to pick that fight. So many Colossi for Hwangsin, and he's gonna give chase here, Kev.
Yeah, look at all those Zealots. They're so low on HP already. Nightend's gonna need to warp in. I don't know where he's warping in from. As soon as all the units are dead, they're like, now he should be able to march forward with his Immortals, but he doesn't dare to take the fight yet.
While that was happening, we did have some harass at the 3rd expand. A couple of Zealots getting a few probe kills, not that many. Still, Hwangsin's going to chase. It's 147 supply to 149.
Right now, Ben. I think right now Nightend should be able to win the fight. Now he's going to get those Zealots in. He's going to get the Immortals in range.
Oh, terrible position here for Hwangsin. The Colossi taking so much damage from the Immortals, and with the Zealots underneath, Hwangsin's going to lose all of his Colossi here. He's badly overextended. Oh my goodness.
Beautiful play by Nightend, though. Beautiful play by Nightend, man.
Yeah, just falls back until he knows that he's able to take a winning fight, and Hwangsin just donated a 200 supply army.
And he's still harassing with those Zealots as well. We shouldn't forget, Nightend did have far superior upgrades as well. 2-1, 3-3 is even on the way right now. Final Colossus does well to these 3 Zealots. How often do you see that? This is like those 3 guys from junior high picking on the guy from high school.
Oh,
yeah, we got you. And then
look at this tall nerd, like chasing him, and the Colossus is running. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Hwangsin calls GG. Nightend wins game 2 on Shakuro's plateau.
Oh,
and wow,
man.
can we see that one more time, my lovely producer? I think we're working on it, man.
I'm so disappointed that Hwangsin let that one slip away. He looks to be in, like, after he won that first fight, you know, he can just remax on Archons of his own, and he's in a much better position.
And the good thing was, man, that it wasn't even like a real fight that he won. Yeah, sure, he took off a few units, but even before Nightend started running, did you see how low HP all these zealots were? Like, so many of them were in yellow HP. If I were Hwangsin, I always said, like, let them regenerate. You're missing out on like 70, 80 HP.
And there's so much, so much supply with half-life. Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, Ben, we can look at that one more time, I believe, so I'm very curious to see. Look how well Nightend does this, Ben. This is PvP in its purest form, and this is why I love this matchup. This was really good for Hwangsin. You see all those Colossus really obliterating all those Zealots, and Nightend knows right now, as long as I can keep him a little bit closer, and he's still harassing as well, just come to that, and now all those Zealots stream, and now those Colossus are so extremely exposed, because Hwangsin made PvP mistake #1. This is what you learn, Ben, when you attend PvP 101 class in university. You do not attack without a warp-in pilot.
You don't attack with just Colossus. Because they're not that good against Zealots, they're not that good against Immortals, not when they're able to be right up underneath. And Nightend crushing there.
But I really felt, I mean, we can look at this and say that's a really big mistake by Hwangsin. Yes, it's a big mistake to go that far without a warp-in possibility. But I still felt that Nightend set him up. Like, Nightend is like, just come a little closer, and then all those Zealots stormed in. Kind of like a couple of hooligans.
Nightend played it brilliantly. He fought until the Zealots were gone, and then he fell back until he had them again.
And then you could really see that 10 Colossus against 5 Colossus doesn't matter anything. If you have a few Zealots slicing away from one side, if you have some Immortals getting those big powerful shots off. I love that. That was awesome.
I couldn't agree more, Kev. That game was brought to you guys by GameMinder, the smartphone app that allows you to set reminders for video game releases and NASL broadcasts. Check them out at handelabra.com. We're going to play a very short commercial, and then we will be back with our final game of Hwangsin versus Nightend.